was my first ever live professional football game that I got to go to. It was the first Thanksgiving Day game at the Pontiac Silverdome, 1975. The Lions took on the Los Angeles Rams. I remember driving down from the UP in Michigan after school on Wednesday night. The weather was great in Munising. When we got below the bridge, that's when the snowstorm hit. We had to stop and pick up my Uncle Bob. Rest your soul up there. You're up there with Mom and Dad laughing and shaking your head about this story. We picked him up, and the snow came down in buckets. It took us 3 hours to get from Midland, Michigan to Pontiac, which normally would take what? About an hour and a half, maybe. And so we got into our hotel that day at night about midnight, I think it was, or 12:30. Got up the next morning, got to the Silverdome, and guess what? The roof was leaking from all the snow on the roof at the Silverdome. Leaked right on our seats. So we got some different seats. We got to sit in usher seats in the end zone. Actually, not too bad. Upper deck end zone seats was pretty cool. I was in my glory. It was a football game. It was a pro game. It was the Lions. It was my first one ever. They took on the Los Angeles Rams. And who was there? The turncoat, Ron Jesse, who was a wide receiver, kind of a fan favorite at first for the Lions. Well, he was on the Rams, and he caught that first touchdown pass from James Harris for the Los Angeles Rams. The Lions weren't very good that year. They lost 20-0 to the Los Angeles Rams. James Harris with 3 touchdown passes. Country Joe Reed was the quarterback for the Detroit Lions that game. I think he threw for 117 yards. I think the Lions had 155 yards of total offense. I think the Rams had like 180. The Rams went to the playoffs that year, as they always did. They always won the NFC West. I think the Lions may have ended up 7-7 or 6-8 that year. Yeah, that was an ugly game on the field. But for a kid like me, 10 years old, my first Lions game, soaked up every minute of it. Remember the whole trip. This was so much fun. God bless Uncle Bob and my mom and dad up in heaven. 5 of us in a 2-door Grand Torino driving back to Munising the next day. What a fun time it was. But yeah, 50 years ago, 1975, the first indoor game for the Lions on Thanksgiving, the Pontiac Silverdome, a 20-0 shutout loss to the Rams. Snowstorm the night before. A lot of the fans stayed away because they couldn't get out of their driveways or whatnot. But we were true Yoopers, man. We made it to the Silverdome. I think it was about half full for the game, but it was a memory I'll never forget.